Hi guys, and welcome to All About Food. Today I'll be showing you how to make a corned meat chicken savory tart or quiche. So stay tuned and let me show you how I did it. Okay, so I'll be showing you how to make a corned meat with chicken savory tart, or you can call it a quiche. It's actually mostly the same, but let me show you all the ingredients that we're going to use and what we're going to do today. I've got 2 onions, I've got a beautiful green pepper, I've got some parsley, salt, I've got some sage, of course, I've got some oregano, I've got some cheddar cheese, I've got some spices, my pepper and some barbecue spice, my corned meat, the chicken one. You can also use the normal bully beef. And then I have my corn flour, or you can use any flour that you like. I've got some milk, and of course I have a bit of garlic. So, and yes, of course we have 8 eggs. So we're going to make this today. The first step to this is we're going to cut some onions and some green pepper and fry it and add a bit of garlic. Then we're going to let it cool down, and then we're going to combine everything, put it into our beautiful oven dish and get ourselves a quiche. So stay tuned and let me show you how we do it. Now I will be cutting my onions. As you can see, I leave the stem on. Just going to cut it in half, just a bit easier. Just cut in a few grooves. Just slide it in the middle and a little bit on top. Just be careful. And then of course remember, we keep this finger, your middle finger, in front, because your knife is going to go against it. So that way, if you keep it like this, let me just show you, you won't be able to cut yourself. So always be careful when you're working with a knife. Okay, so now I just want to cut my onions. And with your thumb and your pinky, you can just keep your onion together. Just makes it a bit more easier for you to cut your onion. So now I'm going to cut all my onion, and my pan is already on the stove getting hot. So just remember to be very, very careful to not cut yourself. And remember, you don't have to make the onions too fine. You can make it a bit bigger, but I just like to have mine a bit more fine than usual. Okay, so after I've cut all of them, I'm going to show you how we do this. Okay, so my onions are done. I'm just going to add them to my oil. I've already started my oil, but I don't want it to be too hot when I add the onions, because I don't want them to start burning directly. Okay, so now you just clean your hands. As you can start to hear the sizzle, that means our onions are on the way. Okay, so you just leave them be, and while they're busy, you start to cut your green pepper. Always put your green pepper on this side down and just cut all the edges, and then you won't get to any of the bits on the middle. Just as you would slice an apple. There you have it. This part you can also throw away, because we won't be needing it. And then of course you'll be cutting your green pepper in small cubes as well. Just keep going until everything is cut. And remember to keep your fingers showing to the front of the knife, so that your nail is actually touching the knife. And you just go on cutting cubes until the whole green pepper is cut. And then you wait for the onions to get a beautiful, nice brown color. Our onions are coming along so nicely, and as soon as you can see that they are a bit see-through, you can actually start to add your green pepper. So I can see they are turning the exact same color that I want them to turn, because I don't want it to really burn. I just want to fry it nicely and give it a nice brown color. Okay, so now I want to add my green pepper. So I'm going to slowly add them just on top. Just get the last bit of my tank. Now you just leave this to also fry. As you can see, the onions, some of them are starting to brown a bit, but that's fine. And you still have enough oil in there to get them going. So while these are going, you can actually start to put your eggs in a bowl. So as we wait, I just want to crack open all my eggs. And I just want to check on my onions. They are browning so nicely. I don't want to overcook them, over fry them, because they will be going into our savoury tarts or quiche, whatever you would like to call it. So I don't want it to be overpowering. Got my small mixer here. I just want to mix the eggs up and break all the egg yellows. As we wait, I will also be cutting my fresh parsley. Okay, so they are a little bit finer, that's what we wanted. Now I'm just going to put them back. And now I just want to check on the onions. As you can see, they're starting to brown very nicely. Like I said, we just want them to start turning brown, and we want the green pepper to also have a lighter color, and then you know it's ready. So I'm going to turn off my stove now and just take it off and let it cool down. And then I'm going to show you what we do with it as soon as it's cooled down. So stay tuned. So I've taken my other corned beet out. I just want to add that I'm going to add a little bit of garlic to my almost cooled down onion. I don't want it to burn. That's why I'm putting it on at the last moment. So just a little bit of garlic. As you can hear, the stove is still a bit hot, but it's turned off. So this is the leftover heat, if you can call it that. Because I don't want my garlic to burn. I just want it to blend in just a little bit and get a little bit of the onions flavor and the oil. So I don't want to overwhelm it with too much garlic, but I just want to make sure I have a bit of garlic in there. Okay, so as that goes along, you can just start to tighten up your meat, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, so my corned beef, I have shredded it a bit and just made sure it's a bit finer and taken apart. Remember, you can also add to your quiche or your savoury tart. You don't have to just use corned beef. You can add something like maybe sausage. You can add bacon. So you don't just have to stick to one kind of meat. Okay, so now I want to mix everything together. So first of all, I want to let's add the meat first. Okay, so I've got two corn meats that I've put in here. So it depends on how big your pan is. My pan is rather big, so that's why I want to keep it big. Okay, so then I want to add, let's add the parsley next. And the cheese. Nothing is good without some cheese. Especially my cheese. Now I just want to add my spices. A pinch of salt, because your blue beef already has salt in. So I just want to take a pinch of salt. Just like that. And then I have a little bit of oregano, just to get the flavor there. Okay, and then some sage, also just for a little bit of flavor. Not too much, just a little bit. Okay, and now, before I add my milk and my flour, just want to mix this up a little bit. I think I should have taken a bigger bowl, but that's fine. That's how we learn, hey? Next time, definitely. Okay, so I've mixed this up a bit. Now I'm just adding a little bit of flour. We can always add more. The flour is also to help this bind together. And then a little bit of milk, and then lastly I'm going to add the eggs, and my onions is going in last. Okay, so there you go, the eggs are in. Okay, our eggs are in. I just want to mix this up as well. Make sure every bit is covered. So now you can see if you need a bit more flour or a bit more milk. So I'm just going to get this a bit closer, and then I want to add just the last droplets, and now I will be adding the onions and the green pepper and the garlic. I always make sure I always get all the pieces. Okay, and if you're sure you've got everything, you can start to mix it up. It's really looking gorgeous just by looking at it. Okay, so now I feel like maybe I want to put a little bit more milk, and then you can. Or add maybe 2 or 3 extra eggs. You can do it. But if you're happy, you can pour it into your dish. Okay, so now I've got a beautiful oven dish, a round one, and it might be a big one, but it's not a very deep pan, so it's not going to be a very thick quiche, and that's what I want. Okay, so now I'm just going to carefully pour this in here. So I've added it into my pan. I just want to make sure that it's nicely divided everywhere, just like this. Okay, so now it's going into the oven for maybe a half an hour or 25 minutes or 20 minutes, depending on how big your oven is. And then as soon as it comes out, I'll show you what it looks like. It's out of the oven. It only took 25 minutes and it's looking so beautiful. And now I just want it to cool down, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like on the inside. And of course the taste. Let's cut our quiche and see what it looks like. And this is what our quiche is looking like. Beautiful, and just look at the color. Isn't this just pretty? And now obviously we're going to taste what this quiche actually tastes like. I'm just going to put this aside and just take a nice piece to taste. Brilliant, and it tastes so nice and savoury. Enjoy, guys, and remember to leave your comment and like. And thanks again for watching. Bye.